Okay. Well, hello. Welcome back. I've done a bunch of little stuff uh, yesterday. I didn't film any of it because it was just moving and cleaning. But if you look, you can see over here that I've set up some of the metal tools. The hacksaw's there just because I found it in my box that I forgot I bought last year. I assumed I will use it on that side of the shop more often. So, but I put up the welding helmet, the welding mask, and then we haven't brought the welder in yet because I'm not really sure about the layout I want over here, so you can't really see too much of it at the moment. But you can see that I've gotten rid of the heaters, but I had to actually take one back out and put it because it's still pretty chilly in the mornings. But the forge is sitting on there. That's not its final resting place, but I moved it to there, and then the rubber mat and the anvil are just off screen down here. Hopefully, I don't know if you can see them, but I'm trying to flatten out that rubber mat. So I have a whole bunch of crap on it. Other than that, the wall's looking pretty damn good. I put the baskets up, all right, and I put the battens down on the bottom, and they're looking pretty good. Maybe I gotta give them a little bit of a wash because I think I got them a little dusty. Yeah, and everything's just looking pretty okay, which is great. But this week we got a couple of projects that I think we really need to start on and get done. One of those things is the flat board trolley for the table saw. I just want to get that done so I can move the table saw out of the way without having to pick it up all the damn time. So we're going to try to get that done this week. But also, Courtney's friend, who is a masseuse, a horse masseuse, here got me this, gave me this hammer, or this mallet, or whatever you want to call it. Here, I'll bring it to you and show you. I'll bring you to it. We'll bring you down. There we go. Oh. But yeah, she brought me this mallet and asked me to see if I can make it better in any way. Apparently, it was just made for her, and it doesn't do a lot of good for her. I guess I don't know the exact reasoning behind it, but it obviously is a little, it's a little not great. One of the ways that she uses it is that she pushes here, like her thumb, and then she pushes into the muscles of the horse, I guess, like this. And so this gap here is really bugging her, which is makes sense. But also, I don't think that it should just come off like this. It doesn't go all the way through. She's got the rubber stops on it, which is fine. So it's just 2 pieces of dowel cut with a hole drilled in it. Oh, let me see if I can get this one off, because I'm going to have to. It's just 2 pieces of dowel cut and then just kind of smashed together like that. And so you can see it's even still got its freaking barcode on it. And so I'm going to try to turn this handle into a better handle and then remount it into this little piece of dowel, because I don't have a replacement piece of this dowel. I'd have to go out and get it. I do have a dowel that's exactly the same size as this guy, just in case I mess up the handle. So there's that. But they're not both the same size. This one would just wobble around in there. So one of the things we're going to work on probably today is figure out how we want to get this done. And then by the end of the month, Courtney's asked me to build jump fill. Let me move the camera back up. Good enough. So yeah, by the end of the month, Courtney's asked me to create some jump fill. She wants at least 1 jump worth, so that's 2 3-foot boxes of literally just painted white boxes that have spots for them to put fake flowers and whatnot in, so they can put them underneath the horse jumps for them to be able to practice before they go to their first horse show in May. And so that means I have till the end of the month to get a couple of those built. It's literally just 2 3-foot boxes nailed together and that kind of stuff. But I wanted to put handles on them. And one of the handle I'd like to do, here I'll show you. Now this is a particularly dirty horseshoe, but we'll see. So we'll take the horseshoe, okay? I don't have the light behind the camera on because I forgot to bring the proper extension cord out, but hopefully you guys can see what I'm talking about in all of this stuff. But what I want to do is I want to straighten out this horseshoe, and I want to knock these they have clips. These clips just sit up on the thing, but I want to knock them off, which would be fairly easy. We can grind them off, we can heat them up, knock them off, any of that kind of stuff, and then we'll clean it out, and we'll straighten out the horseshoe, and then we'll turn it into a handle of sort. And I thought that would be a really cool way of putting a handle on these jump fillers, so they can pick them up and move them around really easily. Because sometimes you go and you start moving around jump standards and jump poles and fill and all that kind of stuff, and it's just cumbersome and awkward and stuff because nobody ever thinks about putting handles on that kind of stuff. So we're going to think about putting handles on that kind of stuff. And so that's what I want to do for the jump fillers. I don't have the fake flowers or something. I think that's something she's going to go and take care of. But when it comes back to the mallet, so that's 3 projects. That's the table saw base, that's the mallet that we're going to try to make better, which I have no idea how to do. But I have some ideas, and we're just gonna go. And then if I need to replace the top dowel, then I'll just go out and get some from Home Depot or something. We'll just buy a dowel and try again. Like it's not even straight, so I have a thought process on what I'm going to go through, and we'll talk through it. And then I thought it would be nice because this is literally just rubber stuff stuck on standard blah, blah, blah. So I figured because she puts her hand here a lot, I grabbed some leather strapping that we can strap over it, right? And maybe secure it down here in some fashion. I haven't decided how I'm going to do that yet, but it'd be nice for her thumb to have some leather to rest on instead of just bare wood. And then I bought this leather strap just in case I wanted to wrap a handle on it, because I don't know if she it seems like a mallet, but I don't know. So it'd be nice to have 2 leather bound things to do. And so so those are just after the fact. If we get the mallet kind of where we'd like it to be. So you can see like the line here, there's some play there. So I think I want to make it an oblong shape instead of just a circle. And so I think I'm going to drill here as well, and then we'll chisel out to make it more of an oblong shape, or even just like a rectangle. And I think we're going to go all the way through. And so I added a bench vise to the bench that I picked up yesterday while I was shopping really quick. It seems to work just well. I haven't added any wood to the insides of it because I know that's what you're supposed to do, but I'd have to cut the pieces, and I don't have that yet. But anyway, I think the first thing we do is we're going to drill through, find the drill bit that he used originally. Here. But let's give this a shot. You know what I should have done? I should have punched right where I wanted it to be. But I've already I did the backwards trick. I'm thinking probably should have done the big guy first all the way through. just so then that's just done. Now, I don't know. So it's peeling off the back here. I shouldn't be doing that. Don't know how to use a chisel just yet, but we'll get there. I think I have to start smaller maybe. But we'll do the outline here. I'm trying not to hit the chisel too hard because I just don't know the limitations. Oh, I just smashed the chisel against the bolt at the bottom. Oopsie. Let's find a solution to that. Oh, I'm not good at this. I'm going to have to figure out how to resharpen a chisel now. Oops. It's too big. Okay, that'll work. Oh, I've blown out the back pretty well. I think we just keep going though. Unfortunately, you can see that the drill on the one side went off on its own little tangent there. That's because I didn't pay attention to what I was doing. I just drilled it, which is stupid of me. So I don't know if that's fixable, but we'll see. But let's just see if we can still get this square. Shit. Well, that's a problem. I don't know how I would have prevented that. Well, yeah, so it blew out here. Again, this is my first time doing anything like this, so I'm not going to be upset with myself too much. But I think I'm going to just glue it and keep going, just because I want to I want to know like that I can continue to do something or get better at it anyway, instead of just stopping. All right, so I don't know, but we're gonna keep it like this. I glued it back together. I don't know if I'm gonna work on it while it's drying. I probably shouldn't, but I really want to. And I realized that now I should have drilled the hole straighter, obviously. That didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And I should have been working from both sides of the dowel. So, like, I should have marked this side, the other side. Now, if we use this as the bottom of the mallet, I think I'll be okay, actually. The only other problem that I potentially have is that when we put the handle material through, that when I put a wedge in it, is it going to split this dowel? And so I want to make sure that I don't do that either. And so we're gonna try our best to make this as beautiful as we possibly can while it's broken. And then if I decide that I want to make a brand new one after to give to her, that would be the best idea, I think. Instead of me just starting all over again because I broke it now. Anyway, so while this is drying, we'll put this off to the side. We still need to cut this off. So I don't need you anymore. I'm going to put something down there permanently, probably. I'll just have a piece that I can I'll cut a piece for this that I can keep down there so I don't hit it with stuff like that again. But yeah, we're going to clamp this in and we're going to cut this end off. There. Well, that was pretty easy. Now we see just how gnarly it is. Well, that's not too bad. Let's grab a piece of sandpaper real quick. We'll grab the sanding block. What if we use this side actually, so it doesn't really matter as much? Now this side we can put this cap on. So now it's actually going to be a tighter fit than on this side, which is good. One of the things I want to do now is trace this guy. Onto there like that. And then we got to figure out how far we want the shoulder to go. I know some of the terminology. It's a 1-inch dowel, so we probably want to go to like 1 1/4. So let's make some. Actually, what is this? That's 1 inch. Maybe. So we got 1.5. So that's 3/4 inch. We're going to take a lot off of this dowel, but I don't know if the length of the handle is imperative. We need to go over 1 inch. And so I think we're going to, again, just use this flush cut because I don't have one of those other larger saws for this. So we'll do this, we'll bring it down to close to the shoulder, but not all the way. Whoops. Gotta be a little bit more careful with that. I think it's going okay. Do I finish or do I start another side? I can't. What do I do there? So I bought this file. I don't want to drop that. So I bought this file here. Originally was for this project. It was literally just to give the shoulder a little bit more taper up into the Oh, that's going to be good. Oh, I should do that for that. I don't know if that'll fit in there. No, unfortunately. If I would have thought that through to begin with. Oh, I could have done that way better. And this side this is very much like a farrier's rasp. It's got the really coarse side and then the finer side. It's almost exact. Here, I'll show you actually. The only difference, just find one that's not terrible. The only difference really, so it's just like a mini farrier's rasp, right? So there's the coarse side and then the fine side, right? The farrier's rasp has stuff on the edges, which is really cool. That really help them out. And then this one, on the smaller one, it's kind of curved in order to get you some more unique designs. But I mean, I guess I could have just used a farrier's rasp this whole time. They're graded to different hardnesses, but either way, I forgot that I had, this file was sitting here this entire time and I had forgotten about it. All right, so it's been 45 minutes. We'll see how this glue is holding up. I'll probably put a pin in it regardless of what I do here. So this is pretty gappy. I know I'm going to put a wedge in it, but oh, that side fits way better. But it looks like I'm going to have to put the wedge in this way, and so I'm afraid of it pulling the head apart. But unfortunately, that's just what we're going to have to do. And so this is going to hold it nice and snug already. So I'm not going to put too much more work into that. And then I'm going to bring down, so it already fits pretty snug in there. I'm not going to pound it all the way down. And then I'm going to just bring this in because that gap there is still going to be the same problem that she was having with comfort. So I'm actually wondering if I should just file so this thing sits up in there pretty good. Let me just get rid of some of this glue here. so much better. I could still do a little bit more, but look, it just fits in there. That's pretty straight. I'm worried about when I put a wedge in, which I don't know what I'm gonna make that out of just yet. But when I put a wedge in, that this is just gonna split at its base here. And so I'm really hoping, like when I dump glue and everything in there, it's gonna be just fine. Trust the process. Now we're going to figure out how we're going to make a wedge, which is something I don't know how to do. So, I mean, we could probably make it out of one of these pieces, but let's put some of this stuff back at them for the moment. Here, hang on. Okay. We're going to try to glue it up now, I think. And then there's some gaps. There's definitely some gaps, but maybe we'll cover it with the leather or whatever we're going to do. Either way, it feels like it's going to just be better than the original hammer anyway. So let's just leave it like that for now. It started to split here, which I didn't anticipate at all on both sides, which is really unfortunate. Like I said, I don't think dowels are the best way to do this, but there's got to be something I can do about that later. I think what I'm going to do here is let this dry for a little while, and then I'm going to try to cut this end off as close as possible to the thing, and then we're going to sand it down, get it all kind of pretty, and then I think I'm going to experiment with some stain. Just wipe it down with some stain, just a little bit, and then like I said before, we'll put some of that leather around it. Now I don't know how. I assume you don't just wrap it. I assume there's a way to cut the leather so it wraps nicely. So I'll look that up, and then I will probably figure out the best way to secure the leather strap around the top. So I'll probably just put one or two pieces over the top, because I can't put anything in the corners, because the big guys are going to butt up right into the corners, and we can't have that. So I was thinking about just wrapping to try to prevent this from splitting even more. But I think it will be fine if I wrap it further down. So if I put a strip or two over the top to cover this mangled mess, and then one around the bottom of these two to make it look a little bit better, heat them up, make them look pretty good. I think that will look pretty good, and it will give her a nice thumb rest that she was going for. Okay, so it's been a day. and we've let the handle glue, and it's really nasty looking. So we're gonna cut off the wedge section and see what we made. See if it's any good. The little split that we talked about in the handle, I've glued up a little bit. So we're just gonna sand that down, give this whole thing a sand. And then I realized if I wanted to sand and potentially stain this thing and all that kind of stuff, in order to get these, because this guy already fits semi-loose, and then I need to, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to take actually just some painter's tape or masking tape or something along the lines after I've done sanding and cleaning everything up, and just go a couple times around each side here, just so we can get that snug fit again. Yeah, might have to do something inside the handle here a little bit, because this is actually now touching the handle, which I had a feeling that was going to be the case, just based off of the handle being set up further onto the dowel. So I might just sand some extra spots into there, or like file or sand, or just put a little groove in there. But anyway, yeah, let's see what we got here. Try to clean it up a little bit. That actually doesn't look too bad at all. It's fairly smooth there. Obviously we got our chip out there, but it's not absolutely terrible. So that was actually a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to have to deal with some extra stuff. So we really just want to clean this up and see what we're making, see what we can be dealing with here. Oh yeah, that's looking better already. I literally just had my brush that I wanted to use. Where did I put it? Well, that brush just soaked it up. Just little tiny bits. Oh, it's more than enough. Like that's crazy. That is extra crazy. I did not think. It's not like paint, right? I guess it wouldn't be. This is the side that broke. So it's got a lot of glue on it. I don't think there's a lot I can do about that. I don't think like applying more stain to glue is going to do anything. So we'll just wipe it clean. But it's a good way to hopefully test it out. And so, yeah, let's see how this sets. In the meantime, there's something I should show you guys. So I made the platform, the caster platform for the table saw. And we made it so it could just be pushed out of the way, just like the bench and a lot of the other things that I want to have. Like the welding cart is going to definitely be something that can be moved around because it won't be something that's I want a permanent station for. But so we built this this cart yesterday during the glue drying phase, and so I didn't know that the legs of like a job site table saw aren't exactly even in their spread, and so they're all in different, like these two are in the corners, but that one is definitely not in the corner, and that one's off by a little bit, but it's flat, it works. I had this little scrap piece of MDF kind of kicking just over in the corner, and then these from that like bench seat or the back of that bench that we used to do the strapping underneath the sign, the battens. This is the rest of like the leftover from that, and so I just threw them on there, threw this on here, and obviously if I ever use this cart for something else, I'd want to reinforce the bottom of it, but I never actually put it up against the bench to see if it gave me the height that I needed. I assume it does. It might even just be higher than I needed, which is better than lower. So let's give it a look, actually. Whoop. Yeah. So then it's like about 24 millimeters, 25 millimeters. So there we go. It's a little bit higher, which is fine. Because we do want it to catch. But yeah, I'm pretty actually happy. And then these casters, they lock. Well, if I lock. Oh, there we go. So like it locks pretty good, and that's only the two casters. So I got these for these casters. I think were at that or at the closing store, the closing hardware store. There was I think I got those casters for I think it was like $4 for all of them. So for all four of them, I should have bought more of them because they're perfect for in here. So obviously I'm trying to straighten out this black mat like I mentioned. And so I have just stuff laying on it, so none of that stuff will be here. There's a chop saw here that I'm going to use. I'm going to put a metal blade in. It's back here. Let me see. It's kind of a heavy guy. It's an old school guy. But we're going to use that guy. See, this thing is still wanting to curl up on us, even though it's been 2 days. Anyway, but we have this chop saw that I want to set up somewhere. So I think I'm going to build a small bench, a small workbench up against the wall later that will hold that guy, a vise, like a metal bench vise for some of the works. But that's what this guy is here. But he's perfect for horseshoe working. But if I'm doing anything else, I need a kind of a bigger, heavier duty vise. And then over here is, I know I never showed you guys this before, but this is, we don't need this right now. This is the forge that we got, which is awesome, and I love this thing. It's a 2-burner forge with its own start. It's got its own start, and it's got two valves for each burner, which is great. So I can better control the heat on the inside. And it's got 2 doors, one on either side. It's got fire brick inlay on the entire inside. Here, I'll show you. Oops. So it's all fire brick in there, and then the doors have that foam. I don't like the foam, so I'll probably spray it at some point in time to harden it up. But from what I've read or seen, the foam is it can get toxic, but we'll see. We'll see how we feel about it. So it's been about an hour, and so that's about time we can start messing around with this guy. It looks pretty good. It looks okay for what it is. So we're going to just continue on. One of the things I want to do, as we've talked about, is put some leather on the handle, and so I kept looking up how to do it, and so I thought that there was going to be some kind of formula or equation for how to cut the angle to do the wrap, and I just don't know what it is, because every time I cut it, I've cut it twice now, and it's just not gone well for me. So I'm not going to continue to do that. I am going to cut more off of it, but it's going to be because I've wrapped it, and then I'm just going to cut it straight from there, and then maybe I'll learn something from that. So I've marked here a line where I want to start from, and then I'm going to overlap just over halfway, I think, is where I was measuring from. And then I'm going to start wrapping from here, and I'm going to glue it as I go. So I have crazy glue, which I'm going to use because it looks like that would be the best out of all of the adhesives that I have. This little bit of crazy glue might be the best thing to use. A little easier to work with if it's shorter. My hand's cramping like a crazy guy. All right, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that this crazy glue does not work at all. But we're going to keep throwing it in the seam. And we're going to add wood glue to the top. Either way, maybe the wood glue will activate it a little bit better. So there is a potential that I get some more crazy glue just to fill in the seam. Like I have a gap in the handle. So here you can see it's okay, but I have this gap in this one here that's not with the other ones. I'm not gonna freak out about it or anything, but I'm gonna potentially throw some glue in there. Maybe, I don't know. And I'm sure there's like specific tools for this kind of thing that I'm unaware of or don't know how to use. Maybe I have them and I don't know how to use them. Okay, so there's this obviously discoloration now. So I'm wondering if I like put another coat of stain very carefully. So yeah, so I can do this in here, clean this up. And so what I want to do is also take this guy, because I originally was just going to take the skinny guy and try to just do two of the straps there. But I'd have to like cut it. Yeah, I'd have to cut it pretty crazy like. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try our best to cut a straight piece off of this guy that's at 3/4. Okay. So this side is the easiest side to see it on. Yeah, there you go. Ooh, camera stuff. All right, so you can see that the pins are there, and they're okay. They're just there as an extra precaution, because if she's putting her thumb here, we don't want the leather to pull up here if she's pushing hard, right? We're still going to wrap it, I think, with this guy, but I don't know the best way to do that. Let me see here. Let me just, I know I have this little leather and that's what I bought it for, but maybe a big guy. So then it kind of overlaps there. And then we can secure it at the back of the hammer. Just one piece. Now, we will, for now, I think I'm going to add some more glue and whatnot after it's dried, and some right now. So there's that. So now we have this little problem here. There's a gap between the leather and the wood, and that's because of the thumb leather is holding it up. And so I think I might make another tiny strip to just go around the wood underneath it. It's kind of slanted, but I don't hate it because it just gives an idea of the two different sizes of ends of the mallet. So we're getting pretty close. We're getting pretty close. So I need to figure out a size that I would like. Probably just this in half. Huh. It looks really cool with just the wetness of the glue here. Hang on. I don't know if you guys can actually see that. But it gives it like some weird definition before it dries. It's like a step up. It's pretty cool, actually. If it stays that way, that'd be pretty awesome, actually. So, I think we should, I don't know if we should do the stain here. I think we should, especially down in here. I think I can get it with that brush and just do a very small amount. So we'll do that and then we'll let it dry. If I was a little bit more savvy when it came to this kind of stuff, I would love to have put like a ring, maybe a brass or a copper ring on either end of the handle here and here, just so it can, you know, I mean, it was, from what it was, I think it's vastly better. But that wasn't, my goal was to see how easy it would be to make something nice out of something not so nice. And I think for me, I accomplished that. If this was like a mallet that I was using for just mallet-y stuff, like so maybe just popping in some dowels, or you know what I mean, something that needed a nice little finesse, I'd be okay with what we have built here. We took the template of what somebody else had done, and we just built upon it, and I think that's pretty awesome. Again, the head, when we were chiseling out the head, I think I could have done that a lot slower and more carefully. I think I got ahead of myself there. I know that there is a little bit of play in the mallet head over here, and so I don't know if that's going to be a problem. But all in all, I think that we've made something that I'd be proud. I mean, not necessarily sell, because I'm not letting somebody pay me for this, because I really enjoyed my time doing it, and it was a favor, so it wasn't a job. But I enjoyed it a lot, and you know what? And maybe if I think of something that I could put on the ends here, I think this is the only thing right now that I'm humming and hawing about. But I mean, I don't have the capability of thinking how I would be able to do something like that. So awesome, wonderful. All right. So I ran out of time this week pretty good. We got the mallet done. We got the cart done. And then I didn't have a chance to put any substantial effort, excuse me, into the the jump fill for the horse jumps. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to probably end this week's video here, and then I'm going to spend a little bit of time in here just cleaning up, and then researching my jointer a little bit, because I'm going to start using that to get these to get the boards ready. And so we'll start the next week's video with me pulling out the jointer. I've cut these boards to 36 inches, thereabouts. These are just pallet boards again. I'm going to use those to make the very first jump fill box. And I want to use the jointer to get them ready. And because we haven't used the jointer yet, I want to use the jointer to get them ready. So I got to clean the surface of the jointer and that kind of stuff. So we'll see how these goes. I have to cut angles into the boards, and I have to glue. There's going to be three of the facings of the box are going to have these glued together or attached together, and I don't know how I'm going to do that just yet. I assume just glue, but I don't know if I trust just glue for something like this, and so I'm trying to figure out another joining method. But we got to get them to size first and straight and that kind of stuff. So we're going to do that, and then hopefully in this next week I'll get a suitable propane tank for the forge and a table. I'm going to work extra hard on trying to find that in the next week, so then we can also make the handles that we want to make for it as well. So thank you very much for joining this week. I'm very impressed with the mallet. I sent a picture to the customer. She's not paying for anything. I wouldn't let her because I got to practice a bunch of different stuff, and I messed it up pretty good. So I might make another one, and then if she wants one, and then we can go from there. But the mallet's I'm really happy with the mallet though, and how it turned out after the fact, because I didn't just, as soon as I made some of the mistakes, old me probably would have been like, let's just throw it out and try again. And I'm glad I stuck with it. So there's that. So there's the second thing that we've made that I've really enjoyed doing. So the sign, the mallet, and then hopefully these boxes are really good. And then we're just gonna keep making odds and ends for whoever wants them. And then anytime we don't have something for somebody else, we're gonna make something for us. That's the future goal. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.